Welcome to the Newsfeed. In today's episode, bold steps have been taken in a Canadian province to address a public health emergency. We'll talk about what that could mean for Washington's fentanyl crisis. We'll also look at the final season of a Cascade PBS original series that explores the wonders of Washington to discover the unique creations of business owners across the state. And the Seattle City Council sends an updated transportation levy to voters that would spend $1.55 billion to repair city streets and bridges. British Columbia launched a controversial program to try to curb illicit drug deaths. A Washington group is considering if it could work here. Could a controversial safe supply program that gives prescription drugs that mimic heroin and fentanyl to drug users in Canada be replicated in Washington? That's what a state group funded last year by the Washington legislature is looking into after British Columbia launched its Safe Supply project in 2020. Every year with the project, between 4,000 to 5,000 people are prescribed pharmaceutical alternatives to illicit drugs, and evidence suggests this significantly reduces the risks of a deadly overdose. The Washington Work Group is the first government-sanctioned panel in the nation tasked with making policy recommendations about safe supply. They expect to submit their recommendations by the end of the year. Beely Lee has turned her life around after nearly dying from fentanyl overdoses. She credits the BC program for making it possible. Last year, there were nearly 3,500 deadly overdoses statewide in Washington, a 20% spike from 2022, according to data from the Centers for Disease Control. We'll explain what Whatcom County farmers, an herbalist, and tea have in common in a new series. A Whatcom County herbalist brings joy with every unique cup of tea, making her mark here in Washington and abroad. Scout Yearling, the owner of Flying Bird Botanicals in Bellingham, a small organic tea company, is featured in the final season of Made There. Cascade PBS producers say this season journeys through the picturesque landscapes of Whatcom County, traveling from fertile agricultural fields to bountiful seashores, exploring the humble beginnings of local business. Yearling combined her degree in pre-medicine and independent research during traveling adventures in Central America to craft her unique and flavorful tea blends in every cup.
It's kind of difficult to make it as an herbalist. I feel really lucky that we were able to create something that resonates with so many people. One time somebody said to me, "Do you ever think about at any given moment how many people are drinking your tea?" And I hadn't.
The Seattle City Council pushes forward a transportation levy larger than Mayor Bruce Harrell's $1.45 billion proposal. How much will it cost the average homeowner if voters approve it? That's coming up next. In a few months' time, Seattleites will decide on whether they're willing to shell out $1.55 billion for a new transportation levy for street repairs and aging bridges. The Seattle City Council unanimously approved putting the levy on the November ballot for final approval from voters. The current $930 million transportation levy, since its 2015 passage, has paid for about 30% of the city's Department of Transportation's budget. The levy would tax Seattle homeowners over the next 8 years. If passed, the owner of a roughly $800,000 median valued home would pay about $500 a year in property taxes for transportation projects. Typically, landlords pass along property tax costs to renters as well. The council's package is mostly the same as a $1.45 billion levy originally proposed by Mayor Bruce Harrell. I'm Paris Jackson. Thank you for watching the Newsfeed, your destination for nonprofit Northwest news. Go to cascadepbs.org for more.